Good morning, my friends from NML. You have been eagerly waiting for today's program. We are very privileged and very fortunate to have with us our Director General, Dr. Shekhar Mandi, and he has agreed to share a few thoughts today. That's why we have gathered here. And because of the restrictions right now in the pandemic, we have not been able to accommodate all of our employees here, but they will all be seeing this through YouTube. This will be live cast. And like I said, Dr. Mandi, we are really fortunate to have you today. We are very grateful that you could take a time off. I know how busy you are. You have kindly agreed to come here. We are all very grateful for that. I'll request you to kindly come on stage. Sir, you can speak from there if you like.
Thank you, Indranil. It's a pleasure to be back with NML family once again. I think I came here about 2 years ago or something. After that, it was the first chance. Last 1 year, of course, it was not possible to go anywhere. So last 1 year, I have not traveled at all, and perhaps none of you has traveled in last 1 year. So that is a different matter. I thought it will be a good idea for me to come. I was able to join you on your 70th anniversary. Would have been lovely to be here in person, but I said then that the year has been difficult and most people are not traveling still. There is now a bit of confidence in people that the kind of numbers in the pandemic that we are seeing are coming down every day rapidly. And now that the vaccines are out, it gives a lot of hope to all of us that we might actually be into easier situation than the last 1 year. Having said that, it's a great pleasure to get NML. In the morning, I had a chance to listen to some of the youngsters about what NML has been doing in the Atmanirbhar Bharat concept. And it was a great pleasure to be able to listen to all of them and understand the kind of work that has been happening, especially from the younger generation. As we all know that we have passed through an extremely challenging situation in last 1 year, and every challenge that comes in front of humanity has always been, there have been some very, very innovative things that human beings have done to get over those challenges. Now, this was one challenge that was really thrown at the overall science and technology community across the world. And we were no different. We live in a globalized world, and India's S&T base being so strong, that challenge was also upon us. And as I said, every challenge brings its own opportunities in front of all of us. CSIR had its own challenge. How do we actually get over the situation, the pandemic situation? And all of you are aware of what CSIR has done. And we all are extremely proud of what CSIR has done as an organization in this last 1 year or so. There are many things that we have learned that we ought to have been doing for last several years, but some of the lessons that we have learned, they must be carried forward in the coming time. One thing that happened was, it brought all of us very close together. All of us, we have been working individually in our labs, or within groups, or within institutes. But this one occasion in which many of us got together and started working together. So most CSIR labs together actually could come on board and start looking for complementary expertises across different CSIR labs, across different groups, across different scientists. And that allowed us to work together to find common solutions to problems. Now, this is a very, very good lesson. Not that we did not know this. We have been trying to do this for last about 20-25 years. And essential idea when the networking project started about 20 years ago was the same, that many people come together and work on common problems across different labs. But nonetheless, however we wish, it had not become as a forceful idea as what we experienced in last 1 year. And that momentum we must carry forward in the coming time. That's number one thing. Number two, it also brought forth the power of CSR and industry collaboration very strongly. Not that once again, CSR has not worked with industry in the past 50 years, or say 70 years. CSR has always worked with industry. But once again, there has always been an underlying feeling that it is not enough that we are doing with industry. For whatever reason, we always like to blame industry. Industry always like to blame CSR, and government always like to blame both. The CSR and industry, both of them are not working together. But last 1 year has taught us that when faced with situations such as this, when the situations are disparate, from beginning, if you work with industry, that actually allows us to work better, to evolve better solutions to common problems that the society faces. Now that's another learning that has been extremely useful for the coming time. The other thing that we learned, we actually started working together with many other departments and ministries. It's not CSR which has worked in isolation, but we have actually worked very closely with many other departments and ministries. And these days, because of our contributions in last 1 year and that we have been so visible in different sections of society and in government, CSR has a lot of visibility, thankfully, in the last 1 year. What has happened because of that, we are actually pleasantly getting a lot of calls from different ministries, different departments and all. Whenever they have something, some problem that they are facing, they invariably are coming to us and saying that we have a solution for this. And just to give you a few examples, Jal Shakti Ministry wanted to map groundwater resources, and they wanted to do a pilot study in Rajasthan and in Haryana. And they came to us saying that would you be able to do this? And they have started a major program in which Ministry of Jal Shakti has agreed to fund a program worth 200 crores to CSIR to map this. It's something very, very big. Similarly, when the government is thinking of developing what is called as the Central Vista in New Delhi, once again, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, they came to us and saying that would CSR be able to develop some parts of this? And of course, we said we will be able to develop some part of this. So there are many different examples in which people have been approaching us now with the problems that they're facing and whether CSR can come up with effective solutions to solve those problems. So this is not only ministries and departments, this is also true with all other stakeholders. Right? So our objective is to be able to connect with all our stakeholders, try to assess what their problems really are. Many times when we work in our laboratories, when we come to a beautiful place like NML, we often forget that the problems that common people face in society are different than what we perceive the problems to be. Right? In the labs, we have some amount of perception that what are the difficulties that common man faces, or what kind of solution that a common man is seeking to his or her problem. And those are purely our perceptions. Very often, there might be a difference between what our perceptions are and what our stakeholders want us to do. You know? There's another lesson that we have learned during this pandemic. So it's important to be connected with all our stakeholders, whether it be a common man, whether it be industry, whether it be universities, whether it be MSMEs, anyone else, it is important to be connected with them. And we can institutionalize that particular connection from the headquarters as well as from the laboratories. We can have mechanisms so that we are all the time connected with the stakeholders. We can have regular meetings, we can have exchanges of ideas and so on and so forth. But it's upon us now, that particular moment, to be connected with our stakeholders and trying to find out solutions to the problems of our stakeholders. After all, we take a pride in CSIR as the premier S&T institution of the country. And if we are not able to solve those problems, I don't think anyone else in the country would be able to solve those kind of problems. I had a chance to talk to our young directors 2 days ago. We have a orientation program of the directors who have recently taken over the leadership positions in last 1 year, and they were in Delhi for a few days. So I had a chance to talk to them at that particular point of time, and I was narrating to them the strength of CSIR as compared to many other organizations in the country. And that's my view. My view could be different than your views. But when I was telling that, what I suggested is that there are many different S&T organizations in the country. On one hand, you have organizations such as ISRO, DRDO, Department of Atomic Energy and all. These organizations work purely on strategic areas with very defined goals, very well-defined goals. They have been told that India has to be strategically well placed in the global niche, so that we actually don't face difficulty as far as the strategic considerations are there. So they are the organizations that work in strategic areas. On the other hand, you have a very well-developed academic system in the country, which consists of IITs, central universities, IIC, ISRs, universities, colleges, and so on and so forth. Now, they also are very strong in what they are doing. We are all aware of the brand IIT. They have been doing exceptionally well in what they have been doing in generating regeneration resources, human resources for the country and for the world. But in those organizations, research and the definition of research problems and what kind of work they should do is left purely to an individual. Right? So individuals work with their self-motivation and they do outstandingly well, but nonetheless, it's much more individual motivation and individual follow-up of the problems that are defined by the individuals. That happens in most of those organizations. At CSIR, we are neither this nor that. Or rather, we are both this and that. Right? So CSIR has both hybrid model that individuals who want to excel in their own area of work, there is sufficient flexibility given to individuals to do that. At the same time, there are problems which are defined not by CSIR but by the society. All of us are also expected to work collectively on those problems. So we have both hybrid of individual excellence as well as institutional excellence in those areas. But unlike the strategic institutes, where the problems are very well defined by the government, for example, when government says that missile of this kind has to be developed, and then DRDO has to basically fall in line and has to start working on that. And the government says that India has ambition of sending a man to the moon, ISRO has to start working on that particular mission. But government does not tell CSIR that Indian industry wants better quality steel, that Indian industry wants steel where we use less water or use dry method. Government doesn't tell us. That choice is left to us to define what those needs of the industry and society would be. And that's why I've been saying that we work in a hybrid model in which we have both possibilities which exist, that there are larger needs of the society and larger needs of the industry, and at the same time recognize that individual excellence also is something which is very important that needs to be achieved. And both of these are very important. And a broader view of this can only be arrived at internally. I don't think anyone from outside will tell us that please do this or please do that. People might suggest, people might advise that it is desirable to work on these particular areas. But what actually we should be doing to get good S&T solutions for those, that must come internally from internal brainstorming in institutes like this. And then also I was saying the same thing yesterday in SIMFO when I had a chance to talk to the SIMFO scientists. And that actually underlies the importance of continuous internal brainstormings. Right? So the scientists of institutes like NML or yesterday at SIMFO, I was appealing to all of them. I will make the same appeal to all of you. This is important to have these continuous internal meetings and continuously keep thinking what lies in the future in the areas that we are working on. And continuously assess for ourselves, if the future is going to be like this, are we going to be able to keep up with that particular future? If our aspirations are that NML should be a globally known institute for the work that it does, or CSIR has to be a globally known organization for the work that CSIR does, or if India has to be a global power in science and technology. All of it is a shared vision of all of us together. And that shared vision can be only arrived at by continuous internal brainstorming. And I would love to urge all of you to keep continuously doing this exercise and keep continuously thinking and proposing that this is what we should be doing periodically. So if you actually reflect your ideas to headquarters, let me assure you that headquarters will fully support the ideas that you have for the future of the country. And that's very important to do. This will not be told to you from outside. You have a very good research council, I believe. These ideas can also be proposed to research council. You can get criticism from research council members who are very distinguished members of society themselves. And once these ideas crystallize to a particular extent, and you have defined a roadmap how to achieve those objectives, please do come to headquarters, and we'll be very supportive of all those ideas which you walk out of internal discussions and deliberations. So thank you all very much. Thank you once again for giving me this chance to come here and talk to all of you. It's been great to be with you once again, and look forward to coming once again in the near future. Thank you. Is there a few questions in the
Would you allow questions?
Yeah, sure.
Anyone has any questions or queries? Okay. Yeah, good.
Good afternoon, sir. 20th April 19 when listed out. Then I had spoken to you regarding career progression of isolated categories. And were constituted a committee in May immediately, but more than 1.5 years, nothing is.
Yes, we are looking at the isolated cadre right now. There have been certain challenges, but it so happened that there are many other things that came on our mind. But as soon as I go back, I will once again ask the JS admin to look at it, and we'll try to see how do we.
I would request you to do that, sir. For 21 years, I have in the same pay scale, sir. And in next 6 months, I will be retired.
We'll do that. We'll
So
do
I
that.
was.
If you remember when I had come here, I had promised that there will be a cadre review, and we have done cadre review after 25 years. So it's a longer period than that. But we'll definitely go back and have a look at it.
But everyone was getting something and I got nothing.
We'll take care of it. We'll have a look at it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I do hope that cadre review has given some positive signals.
Oh, yes.
Although there might be some people who did not get promoted, but nonetheless, by and large, it would have sent some positive signals across.
Sir, what is your vision about CSIR model village? What is your vision, sir?
Actually, what had happened was 2 years ago when there was a directors meeting in Dhanbad, we had requested 2 laboratories to adopt villages close by and try to implement all CSIR technologies in those 2 villages. Unfortunately, that has not happened for whatever reasons. But if it can be done, if someone takes a lead and adopts a village or a few villages and implements all the CSIR technologies, that would be a very welcome step. But somebody will have to take a lead and actually continuously be at it. I believe it was not very difficult last time when we had requested 2 labs. In the Dhanbad directors meeting is recorded in the minutes, even the names of the laboratories who would do that. But somehow it has not happened. But somebody will have to take it passionately forward. That passion is required with someone who is willing to put all CSIR technologies, not those of NML alone, but take in a basket everything that is available in CSIR, say water purification technologies or agricultural technologies or our housing, that is what we have, all of it together and take it to the villages and develop those villages and modern villages. That will be a very welcome step.
Anybody else?
This was really a great vision that you gave us and the way forward that you gave us. We are really thankful to you for that, sir. I cannot express in words the gratitude that we have that you took some time off and visited us. We'd like for you to keep coming and meeting us whenever time permits, whenever your time permits, because it's a matter of inspiration for all of us whenever you visit us. And we are really grateful for that, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we can end this meeting now. Move forward. Yes.